What's up, geezers, and welcome to this new loot from video. Now I know what you're thinking. Last episode you said it's going to be a Zook, and this isn't Zook, it's Vindicta, and you're absolutely right. So what do we want to see from Vindicta? She has two items we care about, being the lance, aka the double-sided dildo, and the crest. Both are worth around 30 to 35 million and have a drop rate of 1 in 256 with max reputation, making it about a 1 in 128 for us to get something decent. To be honest, that's about all Vindicta has of value. Everything else is pretty ass cheeks, and I've already gotten the log completed, so we're just here, like most western countries, to steal some wealth. So here is my log. Before we start, as you can see, I have a grand total of 4 lances, meaning I've had one every 800ish kills, which you know is a little bit below drop rate. Crests aren't as bad, we've got 7, which is basically on drop rate, so I'm not going to complain too much. That's an absolute lie. I'm definitely going to complain. This boss is stingy shit. So, moving on to the clips, I just want to address something very quickly. I am still doing a loot from Zook video. It's just taking a minute or two to put together, which has everything to do with my available spare time and absolutely nothing to do with the 267 deaths that I've racked up in the last week there, but moving on. So just there you can see we've got our 3200th kill at Vindicta, and I was doing this completely AFK. We just got our first lance, so we want to see more of those big boys. But as for items, I just copied the PVM encyclopedia for AFK and Vindicta. If you guys have never been on their website, I'd highly recommend it. They give different loadouts and ability bars that get you through being able to AFK certain bosses, and this is one of them. So I actually ended up investing something stupid like 3 billion into a melee setup to make this doable. But to be honest, I'd spend it again because it is ridiculously effective. I was getting like 55, 60 kills an hour. Super fucking chill. I was at work for most of it, so I didn't even have to look at the screen, just let it run. I was getting kills, and then we had the legendary pet ant that was running around picking things up, which is always fun to see when Vindicta would die on the other end of the room and my Arc Glacier would sprint across to go and pick it up. If you notice in the clip there as well, we ended up getting 3 drops and about 13 kills there. And the thing is, every time we see one of these dormant items on the ground, it might be classified as a unique. However, it has the same drop rate as a crest and a lance, so we don't want to be seeing too many of them. But unfortunately, it seems to fucking rain them throughout this entire time. Here we have one of our first deaths. This AFK setup, though it is good, Vindicta can sometimes just be a bit of a dick, and we end up in death's office every now and then. It's not the worst. It costs about 400k each time we die, but it was mainly when I'd been AFKing for a long time. I might have forgot to drink an overload, my prayer might have run out, something daft. I could have used powders of penance to keep my prayer up for longer and make it more AFKable, but I couldn't justify that 1 fucking million every half an hour. Not to mention, there were just moments like this where my health looks quite decent. We're going at Vindicta. Suddenly he hits me for 4,000 and then smacks me again for 2.5. So there was just shit like this that happened, and if I'd had a powder of penance pop there, that would have been a million down the drain. And we're talking about a boss here where profit margins aren't amazing as it is. I didn't want to be spending money on things that we didn't need to. And here we have 3,500 kills coming in, so what, we're 350 into the grind at the moment, or there or thereabouts. And at this point I decided to switch up the cosmetics into these fucking penguin flaps looking swords, and I'm going to be honest, it made the rest of it a lot more entertaining. Just look at that, such a beautiful sight. And this is what we maintained then for the rest of the KC, because it was just too glorious not to. So we're actually rewarded for our new arm flaps and ended up getting a Dragon Rider lance, so that'll be our second one of the grind, which we're happy to see that. We're expecting to see like 4 by the end of it, so we're on track at this point, about halfway through with 2 lances. However, we haven't done a crest yet. And this was pretty spicy. We ended up getting a lance along with a strength level, so we're knocking on the door of 120. Then we get a lance just to sweeten it up a bit, so that's nice. Don't know if you heard that then, but that was actually my wife spraying some air freshener through the door, so I'm not sure what she's trying to imply there, but here's 3,600 kills, so we are getting through this quite quickly. So after being gassed by my wife there, we actually get gassed by Vindicta as well, and put some smoke across the floor, and we unfortunately choke ourselves to death, which is an unfortunate circumstance, but it's one that happens quite a few times over. It just seems to be one of those cases where I haven't done quite enough damage and end up dead. And then a few kills after that, we get ourselves another essence. We're cashing in on the big bucks there. And then another essence, obviously, because again they're like 1 in 64, so we see quite a few. But then we have kill 3,666. That's 3666. If that ain't the devil's doing, I don't know what is. And then a few kills after the Satan number, we get to our 3700 kill, which is what, putting us at 541 into it at this point. So yeah, we're having a good time. We've had a few drops, so the lances have been coming in more than we anticipated. Here we get ourselves another essence, not amazing, and then a dormant helm. So again, just not the drops that we want to see, but still uniques on the log. And then we decided to do a little bit of a strategy change. We're going to bring out the little dick to fight against big dick, just to see how that goes. But spoiler alert, it doesn't really improve much. Then we run out of KC, because this is one of those annoying dungeons where we need to go and get KC. But we just whack on some necro gear and go and kill a bunch at the main stage. But there we have it, Crested Zaros finally coming in. At this point we're 600 and something like 20 kills in, or 30 kills, I can't quite see the KC here. But long overdue. Especially considering they're 1 in 256, so we're like triple the drop rate at this point to actually, well, approaching triple the drop rate, sorry, to get one. But yeah, on this next hill we actually get a treasure hunter key, and along this grind we actually got quite a few of them. I didn't show all of them, but one thing to mention about treasure hunter, I'm going to be a salty little bitch here. Yesterday my wife, she logged on to Runescape. She does a daily key. She doesn't really actively play as much anymore, but she does go on to do her daily keys. She logs on, opens up the fucking chest, and what's in there? An Assassin's Walk Override token. So spoiler alert, she logged on for 2 minutes, opened up a chest, and earned more money in just that key than I did doing this entire Vindicta grind. So, you know, not to be salty, but at the same time I'm fucking salty about it. But here's a few more dormant items coming in. You know, we're having the time of our lives. On top of that, we seem to be visiting death more times than we should be. I'm not sure what really happened here. You know, there's times where my overload is up, my prayer's up, everything's up. It just seems to be that the damage isn't there, and I was visiting death a lot. But, you know, that's the thing with these AFK methods against God War Dungeon 2 bosses. There is just going to be times where shit goes a bit wrong and you're not doing enough damage, or the crits aren't coming in, or whatever it is. But, I mean, there's also times like this where Vindicta just comes out swinging and takes your fucking head off. And that happened more times than I want to admit. But, yeah, moving on, we do get rewarded, because I believe on this kill, when it comes in, oh, hold on, let me skip this one, sorry, we get ourselves another Crest of Zaros. So yeah, that's the second one of the grind. Again, they're still really under drop rate, really. We seem to be getting a bit unlucky with those. We should expect to see around 4 of them towards the end of the grind, but 2 at this point, we're not too unhappy about it, but we are unhappy about that. There's another death. I think by the end of this, we actually ended up racking up, I believe it was in the double figures for deaths. So probably spending about 5 to 6 million in death costs, which, you know, if we added in pounds of penance on top of that, if I was using those to make this a bit more of an AFK method, those 10, 12, 13 kills, however many there might have been, there we go, another Dragon Rider Lance, lovely, however it might have been, would have ended up costing me an extra like 12 to 15 million on top. So yeah, glad I didn't use them. Made it a little bit less AFK with having to sip a restore every now and then, but well worth it in the long run. I know what you're thinking at this point. You came to watch a loot from video, but instead you're watching me die repeatedly. And what I didn't tell you, which is actually Vindicta doing a loot from 1,000 Kerapack kills. You didn't know that? Here we've got 4,000 KC, which puts us at a KDA of 1 to 4. Because Vindicta's probably killed us about 1,000 times at this point. You know, there's 1,001, and I believe we've got 1,002 coming in a second as well. But right after this dormant body, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this death here really groped me. So this was again another AFK one, but look how low its health is. I just couldn't seem to finish, and that seems to be a problem my wife has with me at the same time. There's another Zerosian essence. There's another treasure hunter key. Just really wants to rub it in. I just want to point out that we ended up getting the full shadow assassin's walk overrides from this Vindicta grind, just opening the keys that we got along the way. There's a dormant body, and I believe that's going to be one of our, if not the last unique that we get on the run up to the end of this. We'll also get 100 million strength XP there. And you know, I'm going to point out the strength XP was decent. We was getting 10,000 per kill and about 55 kills an hour, so 550k XP an hour. I was really happy about that. But there we had the final kill. So let's move on to the price check. We're going to do it one by one just so we can get the full effect. So as you can see, we got a good amount from magic logs, more than I was expecting. Uncut diamonds are again a load of poo, and so are the dragon stones. Nothing amazing coming in from those. Plenty of stone spirits as well, just to shit on the parade. But then we have some, decent value things like the rune salvage and the dragon bones. 40 million in dragon bones is a ridiculous amount. Coins, I took that off of the drop calculator that would have, sort of kept up with that, because the gold accumulator picked them all up for me. And then the unique items, so just to see how much these come to. Zerosian essence, 2 million. The legs, 300 odd k. 360k, the hoods 360k, and 600k in the tops. And then the big ticket items being the crest and the lances. So we're just shy of 300 million, coming in at 289 mil. Not as much as our Racial grind, but for something that's completely AFK, we're not going to complain too much. So what that means is, obviously with a 289 million pot, we're going to be giving away 58 million. So I'm going to do 20% of this one. But the last winner from last giveaway didn't actually claim it, so we've now got 258 mil to give away, which we'll be giving away in this video. And the way that we're going to do on this one is, if you comment your RSN, I'll add you in game and then message you in game, and that way then we can at least guarantee that I can get in touch with you. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And the next guide that comes, well, not guide, sorry, loot from, should be the Zook one, so keep your eye out. And by the way, I'm still not salty, not even slightly. We can buy our own shit, we don't need to win it, okay?